Hi, it's Jack Darren from Sierra Club, and here's the situation with the IDNR budget. Everybody knows that the state of Illinois is in the midst of a huge fiscal crisis. There are cuts on the table being considered for very important programs for human services, for public safety, transportation projects, you name it. So it's going to be very difficult for every state agency to make the case to legislators that they should avoid cuts. Our Department of Natural Resources is unique among all state agencies in that they have been cut dramatically, not just in the past couple of years, but over the last decade. And our main message to legislators this spring is to educate them, particularly those that are new this year, but also to all legislators, that the Department of Natural Resources have been cut year in, year out for a full decade, and those cuts have had major impacts on the department's ability not just to protect natural areas, but also to protect public safety. The department, many people don't know, is a law enforcement agency. They have conservation police officers that are enforcing the law on many of our public lands. They are an important economic development agency. They operate state parks and natural areas and recreation sites that are real job creating and sustaining engines of local economies around the state. They're a very important regulatory agency. They oversee mining, water use, other important natural resources activities in this state that if we did not have the scientists at the DNR looking out and enforcing those laws, then we wouldn't have environmental protections, and businesses would not be able to get permits in a timely manner to create the jobs that they create. So it's critical that we don't cut the DNR more. Over the last 10 years, they have been devastated. 615 jobs have already been cut from the DNR. Their general revenue has fallen dramatically as well. 10 years ago, the department had $107 million in general revenue funding. In 2011, only 51. That's a 52% cut over the last decade. So we're not asking that the Department of Natural Resources get an increase in its budget this year. We simply want to let legislators know that they have been cut and cut and cut over the last 10 years. So we're not, future cuts are not belt tightening. They're not doing more with less. They're really cutting not just fat, but into the bone and into this agency's ability to not only protect our great outdoors, but to sustain and create jobs across our state. So thank you so much for being the voice of a department that does so much for our environment, not only today, but into the future, and letting legislators who are focused on the budget this year know that they can't balance the state's budget, they can't get our way out of this fiscal crisis by cutting the DNR further without major negative consequences to our environment and our economy. Thanks.